The number one priority for us is re-signing Kelsey Mitchell. I think that backcourt was about as lethal as we've seen in the WNBA, and I'm talking maybe in history in the second half of
You know how everyone's talking about Caitlin Clark? Well, guess what? The Indiana Fever just dropped a bombshell that's going to shake up the WNBA.
Being in the WNBA since 2005, I've seen a lot. So the growth through the years, we've learned a lot. I think we're obviously at this very pivotal time.
Their GM, Amber Cox, just spilled some tea about their free agency plans, and it's wild. Imagine this. A team that used to be at the bottom of the league is now making moves to become the next dynasty. Cox is sitting on $650,000 in cap space, and she's not afraid to use it. But here's the kicker. It's not just about throwing money around. Cox has a master plan that's gonna blow your mind. Amber Cox isn't just any GM. She's the mastermind behind the Fever's transformation, and she's got a plan that's about to turn the WNBA upside down. Picture Cox in her office, surrounded by player stats and contract details. She's not just crunching numbers, she's mapping out a whole new future for the Fever. You know what's wild? Cox isn't just throwing cash around like it's nothing. She's building something special, a defensive powerhouse that's gonna give other teams nightmares. Cox is laser focused on bringing in players who know how to win.
I mean, this is truly a dream come true for me to walk into this role, to work alongside Kelly Krauskopf and Stephanie White on the basketball side in the tremendous business in the WNBA, and obviously led by the Indiana Fever. But I think all those experiences will lend themselves to hopefully doing the best job possible here.
She wants that championship DNA coursing through the team's veins. Let's talk about that $650,000 in cap space. It's like Cox is sitting on a gold mine, and she knows exactly how to use it. But here's the thing, it's not just about signing the biggest names. Cox is smart. She's looking for players who fit her vision, who can create a winning culture in that locker room. You want to know something crazy? The Fever might have even more cap space than we thought. Some insiders are saying it could be closer to $700,000. That's game-changing money in the WNBA. Imagine what Cox could do with that. She could sign a superstar, or maybe bring in 2 or 3 solid veterans to round out the roster. Cox dropped a hint about her master plan, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. She's playing chess while everyone else is playing checker. The Fever aren't just looking to improve, they're aiming to dominate. And with Cox at the helm, making moves behind the scenes, the rest of the league better watch out. While Cox is crafting her master plan, a storm is brewing in the league. It's centered around one player who's selling out arenas faster than some NBA teams. But here's the kicker. Her success is causing some serious drama. Who is this player, and why are team owners getting jealous? You guessed it, it's Caitlin Clark. She's not just good at basketball, she's changing the whole game, on and off the court. Clark's impact is so big, she landed on the cover of Time magazine as Athlete of the Year. That's huge. But not everyone's happy about it. Sheila Johnson, co-owner of the Washington Mystics, threw some shade at Time's decision. She said, "When you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings." Johnson thinks the whole WNBA should have been recognized instead. Can you believe it? Clark's so good, she's making other team owners jealous. Let's talk about Clark's effect on the game. Her games are selling out faster than some NBA teams. That's insane. She's not just bringing in casual fans. She's turning them into die-hard WNBA supporters. Clark isn't just a player. She's her own economy. Imagine this. You go to a Fever game to see Clark play. You're blown away by her skills. You buy a jersey, maybe some other merch. Before you know it, you're following the whole league, not just Clark. That's the Clark effect in action. Cox knows what she's got in Clark. She's not just a rookie. She's a game changer. Clark's bringing in new fans, boosting ticket sales, and probably helping TV ratings too. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's success is setting the stage for something bigger. What's next for Clark and the Fever? With Cox's master plan and Clark's star power, the sky's the limit. But one thing's for sure, the rest of the league is watching closely. They know Clark and the Fever are changing the game, and they're scrambling to keep up. The league thought Clark was the Fever's endgame, but they couldn't be more wrong. Cox has another ace up her sleeve, and it's got other GMs sweating. Who's this mystery player that could complete Indiana's transformation from cellar dwellers to title favorites? Enter Satou Sabally. The Fever want her bad, and it's easy to see why. Last season, Sabally was on fire, averaging 17.9 points per game and shooting an insane 45.2% from three-point range. That's not just good, that's elite-level shooting. But here's what makes Sabally perfect for the Fever. She's not just a scorer. Her length and athleticism make her a force on both ends of the court. Cox isn't just looking at stats, she's building a team that fits together like a puzzle, and Sabally might be the missing piece. Now picture this lineup. Clark, Boston, Mitchell, Hull, and Sabally. That's not just a good team. That's a team that could seriously compete for a championship. It's got scoring, defense, and versatility all over the court. But landing Sabally won't be easy. Other teams want her too, and it's gonna be a fight. The Fever might have an edge though. Get this, Cox used to be Sabally's boss. That connection could be huge in negotiations. You know what's really interesting? Sabally's been engaging with Fever fans on social media. She's been liking comments suggesting she should team up with Clark in Indiana. Is she dropping hints? Only time will tell. The Fever are done being underdog. They're aiming for the top, and they're not being quiet about it. Cox is building a team that can dominate not just next season, but for years to come. She's not just assembling a roster, she's creating a dynasty. But what if they can't land Sabally? Don't worry, Cox always has a backup plan. They're looking at other versatile players like Gabby Williams, known for her defensive skill. The Fever are leaving no stone unturned in their quest to build a powerhouse team. The Fever's revolution isn't happening in a vacuum. As Indiana builds their powerhouse, the rest of the league is feeling the tremor. What happens when one team's ambition forces an entire sport to evolve? Cox and the Fever aren't just changing their own fortunes, they're shaking up the whole WNBA. Other teams are scrambling to keep up with what Indiana's building. It's like watching a chess game where one player suddenly starts moving pieces in ways no one's ever seen before. You know what's wild? The Fever's strategy is forcing other GMs to rethink everything. They're not just looking at player stats anymore. They're thinking about star power, team chemistry, and long-term dominance. It's a whole new ball game. The Fever might be creating a new blueprint for WNBA success. Imagine this, a team built around not just one, but multiple superstars. It's not just about winning games. It's about creating a brand, a dynasty that fans can't ignore. Let's break it down. More star power means more eyes on the league. That's good for everyone. Higher ticket sales, bigger TV deals, more merchandise flying off the shelves. The Fever's rise could lift all boats in the WNBA. But here's the catch. Not every team can build a super team. How will they compete? Some might focus on developing young talent. Others might try to build around a single superstar. It's going to create a whole new dynamic in the league. Cox gets it. She said, "Caitlin is an amazing generational talent and she's going to do amazing things. She is her own economy." And that is amazing. But it's not just about Clark. It's about building a team that can dominate for years to come. The Fever's rise could lead to some big changes in how WNBA teams are built and managed. We might see more aggressive trades, bigger contracts, and teams taking more risks to land star players. It's exciting, but it's also uncharted territory for the league. This isn't just about basketball. It's about the future of women's sports, and the Fever are leading the charge. They're showing that women's basketball can be just as exciting, just as star-studded, and just as profitable as the men's game. The rest of the sports world better take notice because the WNBA is about to level up.